The truth may have been revealed as to why Matthew Poitras has been sent down to the AHL Providence Bruins in a recent tweet that is making a lot of people very interested about this decision. As you can see by the three people on the screen, we have a lot of stuff to talk about, and Don Sweeney's master plan may have been revealed. We're going to be talking about all of that here in this video, as well as the new jerseys the Providence Bruins released, and this is going to have a lot of you guys very excited. Now, without any further ado, we're currently at 4,987 subscribers, and you know our goal is 5K, and eventually to beat the Boston Bruins in subscribers. We're nearly at 5K, and if we could hit that in this video, that would be absolutely amazing. Your guys' support lately has been absolutely incredible, and I do appreciate every single one of you guys. But without any further ado, as I mentioned, we need to get into this because I may have had a revelation of why the Bruins made this move to send Matthew Poitras down to the AHL. And I've seen a lot of people come up with this as well and really kind of have a sprinkle of ideas. So this isn't just my opinion, but going into it, obviously we know that Matthew Poitras got sent down to the AHL due to the reason that Jim Montgomery was saying that he wanted to see him in more action, he wanted to see him get stronger, wanted to see him get better. The reaction to that was quite negative, obviously, because Matthew Poitras has, on paper and on the ice, excuse me, been one of the best players on the Bruins. And, you know, well, there was a few struggles that he's had with his size, his physicality and stuff, but on the ice, offensively and defensively, he's a very good player. And I think that's one thing the Bruins are going to miss in his absence, sending down to the Providence Bruins, but will get better when he does come back up after much more experience in the kind of that field. But moving into our first screenshot here, this comes out from Mark Diver this morning. I wasn't at Bruins practice this morning, but was told Matthew Poitras showed up with a positive mindset and a smile on his face. Now, here's the interesting thing. Line mates for Max Jones and Fabian Lysell. Now, when I had seen this initially, when I had seen this whole idea, my initial thought was, this could be a line in the NHL. Fabian Lysell, we know we've been trying to get him up for a little bit, still fully hasn't found that physicality yet, the size, the full go to be able to get into this NHL roster with confidence. But looking at this with Max Jones, who's been up and down this season, really the only struggle he's had is taking penalties, and that's really just been a negative factor for him so far this season. But if we can figure out Max Jones, Matthew Poitras gets a bit under his feet, bit more physical and stuff like that, and Lysell eventually gets ready to go in the NHL, this line could be one in the NHL that could be one of the sneakier sides for the Bruins. And as I mentioned, Max Jones has been here. Lysell, not too much, and Poitras just got sent down. So we're 2 of 3 in the NHL experience there, and having them given the opportunity to kind of get something going in Providence could be a very, very big idea going forward, and really an interesting thing that we may see here in the AHL, and one thing I'll certainly be keeping an update on, keeping an eye on for you guys, and I will have some more updates here as this does continue to kind of get deeper into this. But initially, these are the lines that we had seen this morning in Providence practice, and this looks good. And I will say that right now, I still need to see it in action, but I really like the way that this looks. And we know that the idea that Matthew Poitras getting sent down was really the idea of Jim Montgomery, although he was not the only one that pulled the trigger. Don Sweeney had to get this move made himself. It couldn't have just been Jim Montgomery, so there seemed to be a decision to be made, and obviously a lot of people didn't like it. I'm still personally not a fan of it, but I could understand the reason they sent him down, although he is the best player on the team currently, or one of the best, I should say. But as I mentioned, the reasons going that Jim Montgomery we're discussing here is that in simple terms, we haven't been defending well enough. We haven't been scoring. You know, special teams aren't where we're used to seeing them. And it goes farther on to this with this quote as we're as well on the same side of it. So we're off to a slow start. But look, as okay, we started off great in the last 2 years, but we weren't playing in June. So, you know, get off to a rough start, overcome adversity, grow together, and play into June. And having this mindset that Jim Montgomery has here, kind of describing the style of play that they've been having and the real struggles that this team has been having, they don't seem like they're in too much of a rush to bring up everybody, start selling, start buying, whatnot, to get into a better position. They believe this team can get better. We know this team can get better, although they really don't look like there's a sign of it. We know they can. We've seen these players before. We know that they're capable of coming out here and really just kind of transitioning their game to something else and making it work. And the fact that we're seeing Matthew Poitras get sent down kind of goes hand in hand with what Jim Montgomery had to say here. Going into this, kind of getting some more experience under his belt, getting ready for later on in the season, and maybe having Lysell up at that point, Max Jones coming back up. This could be a very interesting line to kind of go into factor with this. And looking at what we've had for the lines in the last game, also going into practice tonight, or the game tonight, sorry, We know the fourth line, that's going to stick as long as that's playing well, but there are opportunities where we see guys like Morgan Geekie been about on every single line, now in the first line tonight, and a few other players that may or may not have some struggles throughout the season that could get an opportunity to either, one, get traded, get sent down, something along the lines of that, some changes to be made, and the Bruins may have an option in that AHL first line of Matthew Poitras, Max Jones, and of course, Fabian Lysell, which really could be an NHL fourth or fifth line, or even third if all those guys are really on top of their game. But I do like the idea of this. And now, obviously, this is all speculation. I have no backing to this. It really just seems like that's what's working with. And obviously, you want to play your best players, but you also in the AHL trying to develop some of these younger guys. So having Lysell, Poitras, Max Jones, Lysell with two NHL players, Poitras with a guy like Max Jones, like Fabian Lysell, it really just seems like that line could work and hopefully makes that transition into the NHL at some point to kind of stay afloat and stay at a higher level, as Jim Montgomery mentioned later on in the season and as we get down to kind of the nitty-gritty and heading toward playoff time. But looking at this as well, this is what Nesson tweeted out earlier. More of an impact on his game, more plays, and understanding our structure. And that's what Jim Montgomery had to say about Matthew Poitras being sent down. So really goes hand in hand with what Jim Montgomery had to say about this stuff here, the issues they've been having and what they want to do, and looking at how this team's been struggling, how they're trying to transition to become a better team come playoff time. So it almost seems like an indirect way as well here with those quotes that Jim Montgomery was talking about Matthew Poitras, but also the rest of the team as well. But we're Matthew Poitras, no waivers, send him down the AHL, get a bit more experience. The idea is kind of growing on me, and I need to see, once again, as I mentioned, how much this actually does progress in the AHL and at the NHL level now in this game here tonight and for the next coming games as well. But let's move on to our next topic here. We have some very exciting jerseys. For those who are jersey nerds like I am, some jersey nuts, we have the Providence Bruins alternate jerseys. Have been a deeper dive into them, and this is what we're looking at. We're looking at the Pooh Bear logo and the jersey styling. So you see the jersey styling there, classic retro design replicates layout of Providence Bruins jerseys from the late 90s, early 2000s, and the reverse logo obviously is going to be the front crest and the shoulder patches in the Pooh Bear style. These are awesome. These are really, really nice jerseys. I gotta say, I love the shoulders going down to the arms, the yellow, the Pooh Bear logo. Nothing beats this. This has got to be one of the best AHL jerseys of all time, and I gotta say, let's make these the home ones. I know a lot of people might not like it, but we need to at least have this as a permanent alternate. No shadow of a doubt. But let me know what you think about these jerseys, first of all, but more importantly, let me know what you do think about the AHL kind of lines that I was theorizing, maybe a future NHL line with those three. I think Poitras can really kind of spark a line. We know Lysell can be good, and Max Jones, I think, as I mentioned at the beginning of the season, for those who were here, those who were subscribed, and those who were watching during the free agency, I was high on Max Jones. I fully believe that he could be one of these guys that brings the energy, brings the boom, whatever you want to see from a guy in the NHL level that's kind of on the bottom six. Max Jones can bring you. And obviously, a struggle to start the season, but I know he can turn that around. I know the Bruins, either Providence or Boston, can make him turn that around. And this is a very big potential line. So as I mentioned, let me know what you think about that. If you have any other theories, let me know. We're kind of getting into a few interesting thoughts as this season progresses now with some interesting Bruins moves. But that's all I got this video. If you did enjoy it, give it a like, hit the sub button as well. Hopefully we get a big win tonight. Need one here. And really we want to see some guys prove their role on this team and they belong here. So that's all I got. If you did enjoy, give it a like, hit the sub button. But I'm signing out. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.